What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a new one in from Kansept that we're going to check out today. I'm really excited to share it with you, so let's get into it. All right, guys, we have the Vivid in from Kansept. Yes, we did check one of these out, but this variant is different. So I am excited to check it out with you. It's got the purple haze, fat carbon fiber on here. Crossbar lock still a little light on the lock up on this one for the crossbar lock. I wish it was just a little bit better, but it does have a DLC, a polished DLC coated on this S35 VN blade that I'm really excited to check out with you. I do apologize, a little bit of oil and dirt on there. I could have swore I cleaned this one off, but you know, I've been working with a lot of disassembly stuff today, so it might be my fault. A really nice Warncliffe blade shape, got a really acute tip on here. It is a full 4-finger knife for me. I use that choke up and I have plenty of space in front of the blade. I have good cutouts for the rest of my hands, so this is very comfortable for folks with small hands to large hands. I think this is going to work for everybody. I love the way that they did the ramps on the crossbar lock. That feels very nice. Can't remember. It does look like it has 3-hole adjustment, so that is a positive. You can reverse flick it. You can thumb flick it. I just wish that the geometry on the ramp here was a little bit stronger. Maybe I just need to crack this open and adjust the springs. Could be all that it really needs on this one. But very nice thin geometry on here, an absolute slicer. The pocket clip is very unique on this one. You can just take the screw out and flip it over, and you can flip the clip so that you lefties can enjoy this one. I also do think that it has nice contoured scales on here that are very comfortable. They're very slightly contoured. This screw is a little high and does stick out, but I never really noticed that holding it in the hand during any cutting. While cutting with it, had a nice factory edge. Didn't notice any turbulence from the DLC cutting through the catalog paper, and certainly not going through the cardboard. It was an absolute slicer. I do like that this has such an acute tip on it. I mean, the detailed work and trace cutting with this was really fantastic. Quite a pleasure. This does have race bearings on it. If you're not familiar with the race bearings, they basically have pockets in the washers that the bearings sit on top of. That allows it to be pinched down nice and tight, but still achieve really smooth action. I mean, the action itself is really smooth, even though I do feel like the crossbar lock mechanism on this one is a little light for me. We know what also could help. Adjusting the spring could help, but I felt like the springs on my bug out were a little bit light, so I got some heavier, stronger springs on that, and to me that really helped a ton with the feel on this. Like, it just feels a little bit more satisfying. It's a little bit harder to overcome that crossbar lock. I think that could really help with this one. Since we were looking at it, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons, guys. All right, first up, we got the Benchmade Bug Out and the Mannix 2 Lightweight. And as you can see, the Vivid is really a small companion carry size knife. It's going to be great for EDC. Could you take this out on a date? Perhaps. Could you carry this in the office? Perhaps. It has a unique enough look to stand out, but it may be kind of on the fence of maybe really not something that you would carry into the office. That's your call. Let's go ahead and do some more. All right, a couple of budget-friendly options for comparison. We got the Wixco Drac and the CMB Made Knives Explorer. The Explorer more of a full-sized carry, more of a hard-use carry, and to me, the Drac's more of what I would consider an office carry or date night type carry, both crossbar locks. These would be measuring sticks that I would say where you want to be as a company manufacturing a crossbar lock system. You know, this is, to me, a little light. I would like it a little bit more tuned. I would say actually I have the 6 skill, which I think is a little bit better than this. This is a little bit lighter than the 6 skill, is another point of reference. That's all I can really think of for comparisons. But let's move these out of the way. We're going to grab the scale and we're going to check the weight of the Vivid out. Let's get it. All right, scale out and on. Vivid is coming in at 3.8 ounces. That's right around where I like my EDC. I'm not opposed to anything over 5 ounces, but this is the most versatile weight. So you can carry this in the summertime and the wintertime. And I really feel like it's not going to be too much to carry in the pocket, and it's not going to weigh you down. Also, it's going to be minimal print on here. It does have kind of a tall opening hole here when you look at it in comparison to like the Manix 2 lightweight, not quite as tall, but it's definitely not going to be as slender as something, say, like a Bug Out. So not going to print too bad. Not going to be too much as far as the weight is concerned either. All right, guys, time for final thoughts and impressions. I love these DLC blades, but gosh darn, they are fingerprint magnets. I have another DLC blade here somewhere. I can't remember. I got a couple of them, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And I run into the same issue. DLC on here seems like it's done very nicely. Now, how I evaluate these is I grade them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 7 being the cap for budget knives, this being that it has titanium bolsters with fat carbon inlays, titanium pocket clip with a S35 yen, which is a super steel blade, and coated DLC. It could potentially go over a 7. Everything that I take into consideration for these are going to be the fit and finish, money for value. It's going to be the performance and the ergos, and of course the aesthetics. So having said all of that, this knife for me is coming in at a 6.8. That just feels like what jumps out for me as far as the grade goes. The lightweight springs on here and just the geometry of that lock face interface to me are very underwhelming, and that holds it up back a lot for me. Also, I feel like this is a really cool looking knife. I would have liked for the pocket clip to have been a little bit better on this one. Normally for Kansepts, their titanium mounted clips are really good. For this one here, I wish I had an example of something that I think would have looked a little bit better. And when I say looked, you know, this just looks like a plain Jane pocket clip. I don't know with something that is back mounted like this, if you can do anything that has maybe like a little curve to it to kind of match the handle. I think that would have been really cool if they could have done that in some way, shape, or form. But again, it is fold over, so I don't know if once it's folded over, if you can curve it, whether that means you got to machine something that kind of curves with it one way or the other, like you make the steel bigger and then you kind of make the cut curved, if that makes sense and comes up. I don't know if you could have done that, and that is very nitpicky for sure. I wish they could have milled it a little bit to reduce the weight a little. To me, this is kind of back heavy if you look at where you actually find the balance on this one. So the balance on this one is kind of back here, and I think that that's because the butt is really heavy. If you could have milled it out, I think it would have balanced it a little bit more, but also that's kind of minor. But the collective of all those things is kind of what got me to where I was at with the score. I do like it. It is easily recommendable because the fit and finish are outstanding, and the polished DLC from them is looking really awesome. I would like to get a knife of my own as opposed to one that is a review sample to kind of see how that holds up long term, but it seemingly looks like it's done really well. Anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comment. When you comment, it helps the algorithm. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated and also really helps the channel. Affiliate links are in the description. When you guys use those, that's what allows this channel to continue to go on. So thank you for those that decide to use those. Special shout out and thanks to my channel members. I am out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.